Okay, so since we already know about two methods of testing for ions, so we are going to talk about the first method, which is about by forming a precipitate. So we are going to use this method for identifying cations first. This is what we are going to do. So let's go to our next slide. Here, what we will be talking about, we will be talking about testing for cations, but not ammonium ion for now. Yeah, so for now, we are going to test for metal ions only. So when I'm talking about metal ions, which metal ions I'm going to talk about? I will talk about uh, copper, which is copper 2 plus. Then I'll talk about iron, which is iron 2 plus. Then I'll have iron 3 as well, iron 3 plus. Then, we will talk about aluminium. Aluminium valency is 3 plus. Okay, zinc, which is 2 plus. And, calcium, which is plus. Yes. So these are going to be the metal ions that we are going to identify. So yeah, as you know, we have already learned that there are two ways for identification of ions: by releasing a gas or by forming a precipitate. So for this, for these metal ions, we are going to follow the method which is by forming a precipitate. So here, how the precipitate will be formed, we will see, we will observe the color, we will see that, how the hydroxides of all these above metals which are insoluble. So we are basically going to form the hydroxides of these above metals. I think so I should write here what I just said, the hydroxides of all of the above metals, which metals? All these copper, iron 2, iron 3, aluminium, zinc, and calcium. All of the hydroxides of these metals are insoluble. We have already learned what is insoluble, the one that does not dissolve. Now, what is going to happen? Okay, what is the flow chart? I think so I use the different color. So here, yeah, here I would say this is going to be the flow chart of test. Flow chart for the test. Yes, I always like to do flow charts because it's easier to follow. So what is the first step that I am going to take? Here we are going to take a sample. Okay, the sample that they have given us for testing. Plus, what are we going to do? We are going to add dilute sodium hydroxide. Dilute sodium hydroxide, few drops. Okay, not much. Keeping in mind because later we will be using excess. Few. Okay, so sample plus dilute sodium hydroxide in it. Now, when we put in the sample the sodium hydroxide, what is going to happen? Precipitate forms. The next step that I will have, what is precipitate forms? Now, what I have to do when I say precipitate forms, I have to observe it. This is the second most important step. So what will I do? I will say, when I'm putting up here, I am going to say that, is it, I'm going to say like that. Is it white? Is it white? Or I say, is it colored? That would be better. Is it colored? Okay, this should be my first question. Is it colored? What have I done? Yeah, I just wanted to make it here in this Ah, is it colored? This is what I want to say. I put it down. I put the question mark. Yeah, I want to make, the nice one. That's why. Like this, we can say, now it looks better, right? Okay, is it colored? Now, you can say yes or no. So here, I will have two of the options. Okay, where I say, yes, it is. Okay, here, what will I say? I will say, yes. Okay, and here I will say, no. Okay, so when no, I say, what does it mean? I am saying, no, it's white. It's white. Okay, I got it. When you say it is white. Okay, so this is here. You say, no, it's white. Okay, yes. Okay, it means it is colored. Now, which colors? Yes, this is what we are going to observe. So here, let's make, two of the columns where, I will observe the color of the precipitate. And in the next column, it will indicate the presence of iron, indicates presence of iron, indicate presence of iron, metal iron, basically, metal iron. So here I'm making a column for that. Okay, so I'm going to write a color. Let's say if the color that I observe is green. So when I observe green color, what is it going to be? It indicates the presence of iron 2 ions. Iron 2, how are you going to write Fe2 plus, right? Fe2 plus. Then, I will talk about red brown. Now, next, what I'm going to take? I'm using a different this, so I'm using red brown. So when I say it is red brown, what indication does it give me? It gives me that this could be iron 3. When I say iron 3, what is that? Fe3 plus. Okay, then so green observations, red, brown. I might have the other one. What is that? That is light blue or pale blue, I call it. Okay, I call it light blue or pale blue. What could it be? It could be copper ions. Which copper? Yeah, this is very important. Copper 2, not copper 1. Copper 2 ions. So this is going to be Cu2 plus. I might have, okay, gray green as well. When I'm talking about, okay, gray green color, one more. Oh, I missed out chromium in the list, right? Gray green can also be added if we have been given, and gray green is gonna indicate the presence of chromium ions. Chromium 3 basically, chromium 3. The formula of the ion is chromium 3 plus. Yes, these are the ions that we might have here. So yeah, this is the presence of that. Here, let me add here in the list, one more, which is actually chromium as well. Chromium 3 plus. Yeah, good to study about it. Now, so it means we have already done about 4 of them: chromium, iron 3, iron 2, and copper. So how about these 3: aluminium, zinc, and calcium? So here, when I say no, it's white. So what does it say? It suggests. So I write here, which color should I use? Let's take pink. suggest the presence of what? Presence of aluminium, Al3 plus, zinc 2 plus, and calcium. Okay, or calcium, because either one of it, Ca2 plus. So it's just when it is white, it is gonna indicate the presence of these three. Now in the next step, we are going to study then what are we going to do next, which tests we are going to do further to differentiate between these three, that which one, either one of it is present. Now, I am going to continue here. So what we are going to do, since, we have already discussed about all the colored precipitates, like, what is the possibility of the ions present in it. Now we will go to the other side where we said that, it is not colored. So it means it is white. And there is a possibility of aluminum, zinc, or calcium. So we will see now here on the next slide how we are going to differentiate. So when, we have the possibility of aluminium 3 plus, okay, or zinc, which is 2 plus, or, calcium, how I am going to differentiate that which one is present. So now, since I already have the white precipitate here that I have already received, now what I am going to do, I am going to divide my white precipitate, okay, into two equal volumes. So divide, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide the solution containing white precipitate into two equal volumes. And this is what, we are going to do. So now, after I have divided into two equal volumes, here, let's say this is my test U1. Here I have one. Here I'll have one of it, right? So now what is gonna happen next? Since, I have two of them. What I'm gonna do, in one, I am going to add, let me use different colors. Okay, so here I am going to use excess, or I can say double volume. Okay, so like previously, if I put 1 cm cube, as I said, few drops. Okay, so here I am going to put excess or double volume of sodium hydroxide solution in it. This is one thing. Now on the other side, what I am going to do, I am going to use ammonia solution. Yes, on the other side, I'm using different colors, so easier for us to understand. I use, so here what I am going to do, I am going to add excess ammonium hydroxide solution, ammonium hydroxide, or we also call it aqueous ammonia, ammonium hydroxide, or we may also call it what? We may also call it aqueous ammonia. Now we will observe the change in both of it. Okay, so if, okay, yeah, now this is very important. Again, we are going to make the table here. So if precipitate dissolves, okay, if precipitate, which precipitate? White precipitate. If precipitate dissolves in both what? Both means sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide, okay, giving colorless solution, because since it will be dissolved, right? So what you can expect it to be, you can expect it to be zinc ions. You can expect it to be zinc 2 plus ions, right? So now we go next. I leave this space here. Now what next? If, okay, it dissolves in neither of it, dissolves in neither, means it is insoluble in both of it, then it is gonna be calcium, Ca2 plus ions. Okay, and then it means we are left with aluminium. So what is it going to be? It is gonna be dissolves in sodium hydroxide solution only. Solution only. So then, what do you expect it to be? You expect it to be aluminium, Al3 plus ions. So now we have the identification of all ions that we have done, that if it was colorful, we already have it. Let me show you here on the previous slide, right? We had all this. If green, it was iron 2, red, brown, iron 3, light blue, precipitate, copper 2, gray, green, it is chromium. And when it was white, so out of white, how could we identify? So the precipitate, we are going to use sodium hydroxide solution and ammonium hydroxide, and then we can identify that which one, either zinc, calcium or aluminium, is present in our sample.